Hello. So the other day, me and my friend were at Barnes& and Noble, and I saw this really cute bookmark that like tracks your time that you read. Obviously, it's meant for kids, and you can change the mode. So that would be like counting the minutes up. You start it, and it counts your seconds. No, just kidding. That's the timer, actually. So you add your hours, and that's an hour. You start the timer, and it'll start going down, which is really nice. And then to reset, you press these two at the same time. And then you have like the stopwatch, which last time I was reading for an hour and 15 minutes, and then back to the original time. So I thought I should do the 24-hour readathon, and I'm so excited because I've been wanting to do this for such a long time and I haven't done it yet. And so now I have literally a bookmark to keep time because this looks like so much more fun than actually keeping track of time on my phone. So, however, I want to get changed and go for a walk. So I'm gonna go to the park and I'm gonna listen to an audiobook. I'm listening currently to Latinoland by Maria Arana, but she just kind of talks about the experiences that Latinos have had in America, the history of America, the prejudices of America, and so I'm currently in the middle of that. I'll keep reading it. I'm about 18% in, so I'm really excited to continue that. And then when I come back, I'll probably try going on to a physical book. So, yay, I'm excited! So I'm back from my walk. I'm at about, oh, that's like backwards. It's 22:30, so I've been reading for about an hour and a half. I actually took a really long walk. It was about an hour. And so now that I'm back, I'm gonna take a break from reading and get in the shower because I feel like I should take a shower before I get in bed and keep reading. I'll probably start reading a physical book instead of a audiobook just to like finish the physical books I'm in the middle of. So that's the plan, and then we'll see where I go from there. So I'm pretty excited. Yay! So I'll update real quick on the book. I'm kind of having trouble grasping all of the names and all of the places. I don't really know if it's because I'm distracted or something, but she kind of goes over a bunch of different countries and how the US has its influence, but also how these countries have their influence on the US. So it isn't necessarily just talking about Mexicans. She has like a whole section dedicated to Cubans, for example, and how they fled into Miami and how there were a bunch of kids that went into Miami and how a lot of them were just really separated from their families. They were disconnected. They were never able to see them again. It's really heartbreaking, honestly. And then she has another story of this other lady that crossed the border and her story in that regard. But then she's also, more recently, this is why I remember this more like better, is the Dominicans, how they kind of classify colorism a little different than we do in the US. So when Julia Alvarez, I believe, I think she wrote Time of the Butterflies. I read that when I was younger. In middle school, two Dominican girls were fans of this author, and they went to go see her, and they're like, oh, but you're like white. how can she be Dominican and white at the same time? And I just kind of feel like that's a little heartbreaking, but it's kind of insightful in a way to like break that thought process. So yeah, I mean, I'm learning a lot. I'm just having a lot of trouble like grasping the names and the history and connecting it all together for myself. I don't really know why. I think it might just because I'm distracted, but I don't know. I saw a lot of cool animals on the trail, so that was pretty neat. But now I'm gonna take a break, hop in the shower, and then get in bed to keep reading. So, yay! I'm gonna be so honest. Now that I'm sat and situated, I'm really tired. I just kind of want to go to sleep. It was probably that walk. But next up, like I had mentioned, still have like 2.5 hours on the clock. You can't really see that. And it's backwards anyway. That's frustrating. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. And my setup right now, I got all my stuffed animals in the corner. The other one's right there. All my pillow pets. I got the other one right there. My lights, my water bottle. I don't know why it's so far away. But hopefully I will finish this. Put some music on and enjoy. So as you can tell, I was already in the middle of this book. I had kind of started reading it in my previous video, but pretty much I've been reading this book for like a year, and I finally finished it in this video. Anyway, so the Dance of Thieves follows with alternating perspectives of two main characters named Kazi and Jace. Kazi is part of the Queen's elite guard, and Jace is kind of like sort of like a king of a land that I guess some certain kingdoms don't recognize. And then their stories kind of intertwine and they become kind of besties that just kind of like low-key fell in love really quickly. They started liking each other and they would tell each other riddles, and they kind of got to know each other really well while they were captured by some sort of, I don't know, people. Honestly, I don't remember because it's been so long since I've read it, like that first half. But essentially what I remember is that the book is very romantic. It's like, honestly, they have a lot of tension and it's not like spicy at all, but they do kind of have a little something. But I felt like the romance was rushed, so I didn't really like the romance, and sometimes the book felt a little fluffy, like there were a bunch of words that didn't necessarily have to be there. The romance feels like high stakes, but in the end made it feel like it wasn't really worth the high stakes. Like it was just kind of caught up in their heads, and then I don't know, like there's a lot of miscommunication because of their positions, as in Kazi being part of the Queen Elite and then Jace being like the king of the land or whatever. But it was like at the end it was like, well, what was all that miscommunication for? Like they didn't really have to work so hard for. Anyway, that's besides the point. I feel like the characters were okay. Like it kind of gave Six of Crows vibes, and the fact that they're so tough and have to fight all the time, but also that they're young. So I think that it's like another typical YA, but I think I had mentioned this previously, but it feels like the book is supposed to be enemies to lovers, and I think it's kind of marketed that way, but it isn't really like enemies to lovers. It felt more like Romeo and Juliet, and I think I had said this in the last video too, except that like they were okay in the end and they were able to live their happily ever after. And then so yeah, that's kind of the points that I had now. Not doing well on this challenge. I'm so tired. I've only been reading and it's only like 11, I think. Yeah, it's only 11:30. I'm so ready for sleep though. I don't understand what's going on. Like, I'm talking about the book just doesn't make sense. Like, because I'm so tired. I think I'm gonna go to sleep and then try to wake up early tomorrow and then continue. Morning. I had a dream last night that my alarm or my timer was still going, and I didn't stop my timer, but I did. It's 9 plus 10. 21. You stupid. No. Let's finish this bad boy. Where are my glasses? So I finally finished Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. It took me a year, but I did it. I think I only had to read like 200 pages or 250, something like that. It wasn't anything too crazy, but I think it was enough to like pick up in the middle of where I was and then like still be able to like pick up the context clues based on what I remembered and continued reading it. I kind of look like a mess. Anyway, that's besides the point. Overall, I don't really know what I would rate it for now, but I mean, I'm really happy I finished it. I'm not gonna lie. I was so ready to finish that. I'm on hour 18, and it says 17:59, but really that just means like 18. So I've been reading for about 6 hours. And I believe next I'm gonna read something on my Kobo, which I have lended out from the library, and it's also on my currently reading list, called A Heart So Fierce and Broken. There we go. I have it right there. I have it. It's kind of funny. So I just recently went to the public library in my university, and I got my library card renewed, and then I put it into Libby because I was like, I wonder if I can use both of them at the same time, and I can. So I have A Heart So Fierce and Broken checked out from my library back in Arkansas, and then I have the audiobook checked out from here in Indiana, so that's pretty neat. I'll probably be reading them in tandem, so I think right now I'm gonna clean up my room, get dressed, and maybe work out. I kind of want to go for a run, but the thing is that like I left my running shoes at the gym, and the gym is closed because they're like cleaning, so they're like gatekeeping my shoes right now. So I'm like thinking like, should I run in my Converse even though they're not running shoes? Is that like allowed? Will people like look at me funny? Or maybe I could just go to the gym and do like a normal workout. I don't know. I'm still kind of thinking about it. Like the gym here for my apartment. I might just do that because I feel like doing like working out, but like low maintenance, if that makes sense. Like something I can sit and do for a long time and still be moving, like running, for example, maybe rowing. I've never really done that before. Or like the Stairmaster, like this. Yay! Okay, so that's the tea. I'll keep reading. There's my timer. I'm pretty excited to read A Heart So Fierce and Broken, so. A Heart So Fierce and Broken is the second book to the Cursebreaker series, the first book being Curse So Dark and Lonely, which is a Beauty and the Beast fairy tale retelling. And low-key, I actually really liked the first book. Like, I reread it and it was a lot better than I had remembered, and so I was like, oh well, I should finish the series because I really liked that first book. So I went into the second book, and overall, I did enjoy it. I thought it was nice. Essentially, the first book is about like the Beauty and the Beast retelling, and the prince has a known. Okay, there'll be like spoilers for this for like the first book, but the second book essentially is about the brother of the prince, and so nobody knows that he has a brother. And when they do find out, they're like, oh my goodness, the true heir to the throne is actually not the prince that they thought it was, and it's this other guy. And since everybody is afraid of magic due to the fact that, like, you know, they were literally cursed for several years, especially the prince himself, he's like, I want nothing to do with magic. I want to literally kill anything that has magic in it. And he low-key pretty much has like PTSD from it, which is like understandable. Like, he was literally tortured from this magic temptress person. So yeah, it kind of follows like the princess, his name is Gray's kind of character arc and coming back with and I forgot his name, the prince. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to see from his perspective and see what's going on in his mind, but it's also dual perspective with this other girl who's the princess of the other kingdom that they're kind of competing against, and they're low-key kind of enemies, but he kind of learns about this princess as well, and he's like, oh, I kind of like her. She's actually kind of has the same perspectives that I have, but they're both kind of like passive characters, so it's like, okay, like get somewhere. But overall, I really did enjoy this book as well. I'm excited for the third book, called About So Bold and Deadly, so we'll see how that goes. So I've just finished A Heart So Fierce and Broken by Brigid Kemmerer, Kemmerer. I actually really enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars. It's the second book to the Cursebreaker series, and what do I have to say? I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought that it was a really fun read. I wasn't really expecting to like it as much as I did, so that was a pleasant surprise, and I can't wait to move on to the third book because it's a trilogy. So I was pleasantly surprised because usually I don't really like series, but 12 more hours to go, which means I'm pretty much at that halfway point. And yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty good. I feel like now I got that reading paralysis where you like don't know what to pick next. I have all of these books checked out from the library. You can't even see the full pile. It's quite a few of them actually. And then I also have quite a few of my own books that I've been wanting to read. So I'm debating what I want to do. I think I'm gonna take a quick break. Oh, and then on top of that, I have The Martian checked out from the library as well, and among other books. So I have quite a few books actually on my mind about what I could. I'll think about it and then I'll pick up my next read. So, okay. So I think I decided on which book will be my next read. I found this book at like a half-price books when I went to Texas, and it's called The Stepsister Scheme. I have literally never heard anybody read this book before or heard of anybody reading this, so I'm pretty excited to like try it out. It just seems like a fun book. I think it's like a trilogy. Oh, the 4th book is coming out in 2011. So, I actually don't know how many books are in the series, but I'm excited to read it and see what I think. But yeah, I'm like avoiding my library pile, but I also want to work through the books that I actually have with me. So, 12 more hours to go. We'll see how long this book takes me to read. I looked it up on Kobo and it said 7 to 8 hours, so I expect this to take up most of the rest of the chunk of the time that I have left. Either way, I'm pretty excited to get started. It's starting to get not that late. It's like 9:30, but it's about time where I think I'm gonna maybe get in bed and read for a while, so I'm excited. Listen to this quote. Indulge not overmuch in wine or beer. Pick not thy nose, scratch not thine rear, and all shall say, a lady sits here. So several pigeons fly around and are pretty much asking her for money, and she says, I'm sorry, I have nothing to give you. You've already feasted on leftover muffins, cookies, and that bit of jam sandwich I smuggled up yesterday. If I feed you any more, you'll be too fat to fly. It's been a while. I think it's been about like a week or so, and I like didn't forget about the challenge, but I could tell I was like, if I keep on with this 24-hour readathon, I'm going to literally not be able to read a book for the next year. So I stopped for a little bit, and then I like have been doing little chunks of reading throughout my week. So I still have about 9 hours to go. It's backwards. 9 hours and 8 minutes to go, but I'm still reading The Stepsister Scheme and by Jim C. Hines, and I'm only 100 pages in. I think it's okay, like I'm enjoying it, but at the same time I'm like, alright. So it's just it's about these 3 girls. You have Snow from Snow White. I think her name is like Talia in the book for the Sleeping Beauty, and then Danielle for Cinderella. And so far I'm enjoying it. I think it's okay. It takes me like 30 minutes to get through each chapter, and I'm like, oh, I must be a really slow reader if it's taking me 30 minutes to get through every single chapter. And they're not that long. They're like, I mean, the last one was long. It was about like 60 pages, but the other ones are like 30 pages, so I don't know. But it's essentially, I guess, like, the stepsisters have taken Danielle's husband away from her, so now she's like, I don't have a husband, give me my husband back. And they use magic, which is, I think it's illegal, but it's not illegal. No, it is. The type of magic that they did, and the fact that it's from the royal, and they're, like, taking royalty away, or, like, you know, they kidnapped royalty. Obviously, that's illegal. So they're the 3 girls are going to save, they're gonna save the husband. And so there's like this huge momentous moment where we're trying to figure out where the stepsisters could possibly have taken the prince, and they go to like this troll under a bridge. I think it's kind of funny actually that they're like, Hines is like kind of using all these fairy tale things, and then like, I don't know, like the troll under the bridge, or the fact that Snow White uses the mirrors to like use her magic, or the fact that Sleeping Beauty, I guess she doesn't sleep, I don't know. I thought, you know, it's just kind of funny that he does that. But anyway, they go to see the troll under the bridge, and he's like, if I make a promise, I keep it. But if you want this information, I will give it to you for your firstborn child that you are bearing, like, that you have, that you're carrying right now. And Danielle's like, what? A child? I don't have a child. He's like, no, I want your son. And Danielle's like, what? Well, she blew up on him, and she's like, well, because of that, you know, if you don't get out of here by tomorrow, I'm going to burn this place down. And so that's what the queen did. She set Danielle's orders out, and I thought that was funny, but she's like, oh, I guess I'm pregnant now. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I always feel weird whenever characters get pregnant like that, and they're like, oh, I guess my cycles have been off, and then like, and that one time that we got snowed in at the castle, and there was just nothing else to do, and we just had a lot of fun in that moment. I'm like, what? I feel like it just comes out of the blue, and I don't know if I like it, especially from like I Play No Barbarians. Like, girl, you were only like with him for like 3 days, and then you're like, for sure, you know for sure that you're pregnant. And then here it's like, I don't know, it just kind of came out of the blue, to be honest. I just like, I don't know, does this help progress the plot? I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I feel kind of weird about it, but anyway, so yeah, that's my update. It's been a while, but like, I'm enjoying it. I'm not liking it, but I'm not like, oh, this is the most amazing thing ever. But it is a series, so I probably won't be finding the books anywhere. I feel like this is kind of like a niche type of book. I don't know. I could be wrong, though. It could be really popular. I just know nothing about it. So that's the tea. Yeah. It's the next day. Wait, hang on. I have just come back. I think I just filmed a little, but I'm about 6 hours and a half in. It's backwards. I hate that it's backwards. I have 6 hours and a half left. That means I've been reading a long time. Yeah. A long time. But okay, here's the thing, right? I'm reading the Stepsister scheme still. I read about like half an hour per chapter, give or take. There's 15 chapters, so you can do the math because I don't want to. I'm currently on chapter what? 10. Currently on chapter 10. Halfway through chapter 10. And what do I gotta say? I don't like it. That's what I gotta say. I think it's boring. It's kind of giving like The Hobbit, but not as... I don't know. It's just like, it feels like a series of events and things just kind of happen, and half the time I'm just skimming at this point. I don't really want to be reading it. But essentially, I don't know if I've said this already, but when one character starts talking, it's just a bunch of exposition and the other character's like, okay, we get it now. You're so nerdy. And then it's like, I think I've already said that Danielle, like, the Cinderella is pregnant, so, like, everybody wants her pregnant child, and it's kind of weird. Everybody wants her unborn child, and then the other girl, Sleeping Beauty, her name is Talia, is teaching Danielle how to fight, and so it's just, like, 3 pages of Talia teaching Danielle how to fight, and I'm like, okay, I think I've had enough of it. And honestly, I don't want to like not finish it because I'm like almost finished. Like I only have 5 chapters left, right? That's like only a couple hours, but I'm not liking it that much. I'm not really enjoying it. It's kind of like I want it to be done, you know, because I really do enjoy like fairy tale retellings, and there's like plenty of world building in this. I'm just like so bored that I'm also skimming over that, so I don't really know what is going on. And then they're like traveling, but they're traveling on like birds that aren't birds, and they're big, and then they're small, and then they're fairies, and then there's not fairies, and then there's like, I don't know, it's like kind of all over the place, I feel like. And I don't know if it's just me, but I'm just not having the best of times, and I really am just mostly skimming over it because I'm so bored. I'm hoping to finish this challenge today. I think I could read for 6.5 hours. That's like a full-time shift, kind of, if I were working. I know that I would be able to finish this and start another book, so I'm hoping to start a library book. I'm looking forward to that so much. Like, I really just want to get to my, like, another book. That's the tea. Okay, I finally finished it. Thoughts? I'll probably give it like 2 or 3 stars overall. I love fairy tale retellings. They are probably one of my favorite genres, and this was just like, bleh. This was what, I don't know how to describe it. It was like, I was so bored for most of the book, and then the final like 50 pages, 75, pushing it 100 was finally when the action was happening, and I was like, finally it's here. And then I was still skimming it half the time, and I've noticed that I guess I'm just like a really slow reader. Like I really do. I don't know if it's because I didn't like this book or anything, but generally I tend to read like a page per minute. So I know, okay, in an hour I'll read about 60 pages, give or take. Literally, usually a little less than 60, but that's about the pace that I read at. And that's kind of like what I was reading for this, maybe a little more actually. I don't know if it's because it was boring. I don't know if it was because I'm just a slower reader than I thought. I only was able to pull one quote that I actually kind of thought was cool, but overall I really did not enjoy it. And so I'm glad that's over. Anyway, so I just feel like the plot was very going on an adventure and then not getting anything done. We're just kind of going in circles, but nothing is happening from it. I guess the main character getting pregnant was very important to the plot because the son, or the unborn child, was kind of the big not plot twist, but what drove everybody's motivations to either saving a husband or to that's why the stepsisters were trying to take Danielle over. I don't know. It was like, okay, like, I've had enough of this. And then, like I said, every single time Snow White talked, it was like a bunch of exposition. It's like, what? None of this really came up in the end anyway. Like, she was talking about, like, I don't know, well, except for the treaties, because there was like some sort of treaties that was going on. So, like, essentially, like, the Magic Kingdom was like the People Kingdom, and so, like, the fairies had to, like, I don't know how to describe it. I honestly did not bother to read half of that, because I was just like, what does this have to do with anything? And then when it did have to do with anything, I was like, what? And then there was like a duchess, and then she had the prince. It was the prince. And then it's like, okay, I don't know why, but I think I genuinely just do not like, what are they called, like, love spells, or anything that has to do with, like, oh my gosh, you're in love but involuntarily, and somebody else has, like, cast this spell on you, so you, like, are in love with somebody, and it's not by your own, like, volition, is that the way to say it? I think that's the way to say it. Anyway, I never really liked that. Like, I always thought, like, even watching, you know, like, that Disney Channel movie about, like, Mal, and then it's like, that's also kind of like a fairy tale retelling with all of the evil characters, and then they go over to the other one, and the, like, the good kingdom, and then they, like, she, like, falls in love with the guy, and then there's, like, this octopus girl, and then she, like, has, like, a spell or whatever, and then she, like, has the prince, like, kind of fall in love with her. I never really liked that premise. I don't know why. I just don't really like that. I don't know. I don't like love spells or anything that have to do with that. So it's like the whole thing, that fact that, like, the prince was in love with this girl, and then he was in love with the duchess, and then it was all just a love spell, so I feel like it's just fake, and then all you have to do is true love's kiss, and then it's like, I don't really like that as much. I don't really know why. I just don't really enjoy it. So that was another part of the book that I didn't like. What else? The characters, especially Talia, was not supposed to be static. Like, you could tell she was supposed to have, like, this whole, like, character arc or whatever. She's been through a lot, because if you've heard of the original Sleeping Beauty story, you know. And that's kind of honestly traumatic and terrible. So it kind of goes through her, like, not wanting to, like, get close to anybody, and, like, how she's, like, very defensive, and I don't know what. And I don't know, I just felt like the character arc felt forced, but at the same time it wasn't. Like, I could see it coming, like, from a mile away. You know what I mean? And, like, it wasn't like, I don't know, if you've seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, you know how Zuko was, like, he got his character arc, but he was, like, really in it, and then he was out of it. He had to go back and forth, because I feel like that's how people are, you know, when you change, you don't just change automatically. So that's kind of what I felt like her character could have been a little bit better in that regard. And then for Snow White, she just, like, fell asleep halfway through. Not halfway through, she fell asleep close to the end, and then she woke up, and then she, like, summoned the dwarves or whatever, and then they defeated, the evil princess or whatever, the evil queen, Snow White's mom, and then, yeah, they just got the prince, happily ever after, girl power, but, I don't know, I just didn't really enjoy it. I would probably give it two stars, honestly. Nothing too crazy, maybe 1.5. I don't want to be too stingy. I'll put it 2 stars, because it was just not my cup of tea, and because I didn't really enjoy it. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I can't wait for the next book. Wait, I should pick it out right now. I was gonna shower, and then I was gonna get med and read, but let's pick out the next book, because I can. Or should I wait till after shower? I don't know. Oh, I should mention, I only have 4.5 hours left, so whatever book, oh my god, I hate that it's backwards. Whatever book I do pick next, I'll probably pick, like, a shorter book, but there's this other book I've been really wanting to read. I don't remember what her name is, but she's got, like, her own publishing press, and she's been, like, she talked about this book, she recommended it. I don't know, I got it from the library, and I was like, no way, they have it at the library. And then I saw that Jack Edwards, I think that's his name, he's, like, one of the biggest booktubers, had said, I saw it in his thumbnail, so I assumed that he read it. I was like, maybe I should read it, but I kind of want to read, like, a short book after reading. So, oh, and then the other book that I wanted to read is, like, I have it downloaded. I got the audiobook by Libby, so I could read it with the audiobook as well. So I can read and then listen to the audiobook, which I think would be really nice, because I know I would finish that a lot faster. And I feel kind kind of bad about that because I know, like, I just put it on, like, a pretty quick reading level, like a speed reading level, so it's like I can get through it a lot faster than if I just sat down and read it by myself. And so I'm like, maybe I could do that and then start the other book, but I'll think about it while I shower. Yeah. Okay, so here is all of the books that I have checked out from the library right now. I thought about reading What Kingdom by Fine. Oh my goodness. I'm not so sure how to pronounce his name or her name. I'm not so sure how to pronounce that name because it's like short and I thought I could get through it really quick. But then I was like, I have The Night Guest checked out with like the audiobook from Libby, so I could read and listen to the audiobook at the same time, but I feel like I'd get through that really quick. Then I have Jellyfish Have No Ears, Jekyll and Hyde, because this is one of my favorite classics, The Strange and Mysterious Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. She's a Lamb, I just thought the cover was cool. Sacrificial Lamb, Sacrificial Animals, I've heard a lot of things about this book, but I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. Olive Days, I got this because the cover was yellow, and then The Coin, the cover is also yellow, but I've heard, like, a lot of things circulating around. This is the book that I was talking about from that one booktuber that I watched, and also I think his name is Jack Edwards had talked about it. And I think it's about if like all the Palestinians didn't exist, something along those lines. Honestly, I think I might pick that one because it's yellow and my boyfriend told me to, so yeah, I think that'll be my next read. So The Coin is not about what if all the Palestinians didn't exist. I don't know where I got that idea, but essentially the novel follows an unnamed Palestinian woman as she kind of sort of starts going down into not necessarily like a descent into craziness, but like where she kind of unravels herself in the city and the uncleanliness of New York. So yeah, it was really interesting. I saw an interview of the author with Book Passage TV. She kind of talked about how her inspiration from New York is because she lived there, and a lot of what the character saw was what the author was seeing. And then she also talked about the fashion because the main character is obsessed with fashion, and she has like this friend that is also kind of obsessed with fashion. And he says, well, if you look the part, you could be the part. Kind of essentially saying that like if you look like really rich and you will eventually like low-key like manifest it. So I thought that was really interesting. And then the coin, which is the title of the book, she had swallowed a coin when she was little and then she never saw it, so now that she's older, like she feels that it's manifested between her shoulder blades and the back. It's the only place that's like not clean in her body. So it's really interesting. It was so far so good, and yeah, that was me finishing the challenge. I didn't finish the book, but I'm gonna leave it at this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and yeah, bye.